Hello, everybody. Welcome officially now that we've pressed record. This is your free mindset masterclass, and I'm going to take you through a three-step process to hack your mindset, specifically in relation to work. But it also works with basically anything else in life. So this is being recorded for the replay heroes. So welcome, everybody, and welcome to everybody in the room. Thanks for being here. First of all, let me share my screen. Assuming that is working, let's go into slideshow mode. Brill, I think that's working. Nod if you can see everything. Yes, brill. Okay, cool. So yes, welcome to the Mindset Masterclass. This is all about hacking your mindset to get you what you want at work. My name's Tess, I'm the founder of Light Me Up, and I will be your host for today. Stay to the end and be in with the chance of winning a prize. Now, there's not a huge amount of people here live, so your odds are upped massively that it could be you, which is very exciting. And breathe. First of all, we're going to start with, as Ines well knows, we always start our sessions with some kind of breathing exercise to kind of take us out of our head and back into our body a little bit. So we're just going to do a very, very short one today. So we're just going to start with breathing in through the nose for 6 beats. We're going to hold it for 4, and then we're going to breathe out through the mouth with a big sigh for no reason other than it feels really, really good. So in through the nose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold it for 4. And then breathe out. Ooh, with a big old sigh. You might feel like a bit of a tit, but it works, I promise. And again, in through the nose. 2. And hold it for 4. And out through the mouth with a big sigh. Ooh. And last but not least, one more time. In through the nose. And hold it for 4. Ooh. And then just give yourself a bit of a shake around and feel good. Brill. So, a quick introduction for anybody who doesn't know me. So my name's Tess. As I said, I'm the founder of Light Me Up. I'm a mindset mentor, expert in the working world with 17 years experience across real estate and finance, and general life cheerleader. This is what someone described me as the other day. And I was like, I'm going to have that actually. Our mission at Light Me Up, if you don't know, is to empower people with the tools they need to take back control and redesign a life that lights them up. And how I like to work is looking at holistic happiness through the key pillars of life, including physical, social, mental, emotional, and spiritual health. And also more recently, I spent a lot more time looking at financial health as well. So watch this space for some more stuff around that coming out. And I leveraged the fucking powerful combination of science, strategy, spiritual principles, and a little sprinkle of magic to help you step back into your power and redesign a life that lights us up. So this masterclass is for you if you're feeling any or all of these things. So you might be feeling unfulfilled, underpaid, underappreciated at work. You might think your boss or your manager is holding you back. You might even think they're a bit of a dick. You might feel like you want more, but you don't know how to get it. You might feel a bit lost, alone, or even fully burnt out at work. Or you might just feel a bit like, not so sure. And just that there must be more than this mediocre job that you do. And quite often, especially sometimes in the case of women or in a particular season of your life, you might hear yourself say that this is a job that you're going to do just for now, just for this season of your life. And it doesn't matter that it's not everything that you want it to be. And then suddenly that was 3 years ago or 5 years ago, and you're sort of coming out of that season and you're still saying that same thing. And everything feels a bit hard, but you're ready to make a change. So the 3 key steps that we're going to go through today are, number 1, identifying your limiting beliefs. Number 2, we're going to call upon a growth mindset to make them feel achievable. And number 3, we're going to reframe them into affirmations. And then there's a bonus at the end where we're going to hack it every day. So we're going to take you through this process, and you will need a pen and paper or something to write notes on. So if you haven't got any of those things, then pick up your phone, even look at your notes app or whatever, just something so you can write things down. So first of all, what is a limiting belief? So for those who don't know, for those who aren't quite so familiar, a limiting belief is a state of mind or belief about yourself that restricts you in some way. everyone experiences limiting beliefs, no matter where they are in the so-called like success, sort of conveyor belt of life. Everybody experiences them. But learning how to identify them can help you proactively prevent these beliefs from limiting you. And this is a definition I got from Asana, which is the sort of workspace productivity tool, which I really liked in terms of how it explains it. So identifying our limiting beliefs, they can usually be found quite easily because they often start with the phrase I can't. And the anatomy of a limiting belief is usually I can't do X, Y, or Z because of A, B, or C. And as I mentioned, we're talking about this in relation to work at the moment. So some work related examples might be something like, I can't get a promotion because of my manager, a particular situation. I'm not confident enough. I don't have the right skill set. Or it might be kind of similar. I can't get a pay rise because of the economy, the company. I'm not good enough, whatever that may be. Or it might be something like, I can't change job right now because of the economy, or it's not the right time, or I don't have time to look for a new job, or I don't have the energy to look for a new job. Or it might be something like, I can't have flexibility as well as security in my job because they don't exist in the same job. Something like that. So we're going to run a quick exercise right now, and you are going to take a little bit of time to identify your limiting beliefs. So think about sentences that you say in relation to work that start, I can't do X because of Y. Or think about what you hear yourself say at work, or what do you hear yourself say even about work. And if you're feeling brave and comfortable to do so, those that are on live, share them in the chat. And if not, I'm just going to give you maybe half a minute or so, maybe a little bit less, to identify your limiting beliefs. So let's give you, half a minute or so. If you don't feel like sharing, that's absolutely fine if you don't feel comfortable. But if you do, it would be great to hear. Let's go back to these ones to show you some examples. So I can't get promoted because I can't get a pay rise because I can't change job right now because, or I can't have flexibility as well as security in my job because they don't exist in the same job, that kind of thing. Or something totally different related to your work. There we go. I can't earn lots of money because I'm not responsible enough. Nice. We've all felt that, I'm sure, at various times in our life. For real. And when we're going through these and identifying these beliefs, try not to judge anything. Try to leave judgment at the door and try to just approach this with curiosity and also honesty as well. Try and be honest with yourself. Obviously, I really appreciate that some people might not want to share. We've had about a minute now, so well, here's another one. I've written down some, but I'll keep them to myself. That's absolutely fine. That's absolutely fine. Totally respect that. Cool. Okay, so now we've written down our limiting belief. We're going to call upon and cultivate a growth mindset. And we're going to do this with the word how, but we're just going to start by just reminding ourselves what a growth mindset is. So if you're unsure or haven't heard of this term before, having a growth mindset means believing that a person's abilities aren't innate, but can be improved through effort, learning, and persistence. And a growth mindset is all about the attitude with which a person faces challenges, how they process failures, and how they adapt and evolve as a result. So what this means essentially in a nutshell is that they see problems as challenges which can be overcome. And one of the easiest way to do this, without really having to think too much about it, is to introduce one of the most powerful words in the English language, which is how. So our limiting beliefs then become questions. So, for example, I can't get a promotion because becomes, how can I get a promotion? Or I can't get a pay rise because becomes, how can I get a pay rise? And then I can't earn lots of money because I'm not responsible enough becomes, how can I, sorry, where's it gone? Becomes, how can I earn more money? Hang on, something else come through in the chat then. I didn't ask for more training, so I couldn't do the job. Oh, fair. Okay. Yeah. So if you didn't ask for more training and you didn't feel like you could do the job, so what would make you feel more comfortable about doing the job? How can I do this job? How can I feel more confident and more comfortable doing this job? So Next up is, of course, we're going to just really quickly flip our beliefs into questions. So, like I said, so if you want to write down what your limiting belief was and then just put it into a question. So, literally just put the word how in front of what it was you said previously. So, how can I ask for training? Or how can I get a promotion? Or how can I get a pay rise? And the reason that this is so effective is because this invites more questions. So, as well as how can I do this, when we think about the word how, there are loads and loads of ways to answer that. So, it invites more questions. Who can help me do this? What can I do? What's within my control? How can I do X, Y, or Z? What resources are around me? How can I answer my own questions? What research can I do? How can I gain clarity on what my next step is? And why does this work? It's because we're stepping back into our power, we're taking ownership again over our lives, and we are taking back control. And then the really exciting bit is that answering them then becomes our action plan. So I've used the example here of like, I can't get promoted at work because my manager is a dick or I don't know what's required. So when we rephrase that into how can I get promoted, it prompts other questions. So who can help me to find out what I need to do to get promoted? And the action that you might be able to take is things like I can speak to somebody else in my team who is already doing things at that next level that I want to build up to, that I want to get promoted into. The next question might be, what can I do? Let's kind of take back our control over this. What can I do? Well, maybe you could take some time to reflect on what you actually want. What is your next step? Where do you want to go? What do you enjoy most about your job? How can you progress in the areas that you love? Or even how can you evolve your job that you have right now to your current strengths? Is that even what you want? When you really think about it, I spent 3 years going for a promotion that only my ego wanted. It was nothing to do with what I was actually good at. It was just the fact that I was reaching a certain age and I was like, well, I should be head of at this point in time. So take some time to reflect on what it is that you actually want. And the next question it might prompt is something like, hi, how can I get clarity on what I specifically need to do to get to the next level? And this is where we probably need to put time in for a meeting with your manager. Even if you think they're a bit of a dick, you can still hold them to account and have a really positive conversation. And that's something that we can help you do. And then another thing might be something like, what are the resources that are around me? So if you work in a business, especially if it's a big corporate company, chances are that they will have big company systems, big guidance documents. They might even have specific career paths and frameworks that you can follow. So actually, there's probably far more of this stuff at your fingertips than you've really realized. So let's kind of take back this power. Let's take responsibility. What can I do? I can have a look at the company system for all this sort of guidance. And again, why does this work? It's because questions then become tangible things that we can answer. We feel really empowered and really confident in what we actually need to do to achieve the thing because we're proactively taking action in doing that. And this makes the limiting belief feel possible to achieve. And this is where it gets really exciting because suddenly that limiting belief isn't limiting anymore. So, those of us on the call and any replay heroes that are watching, we're going to give you a couple of minutes or so, maybe a minute or so now, to write down any questions that you have that come up with the limiting belief that you have identified. So I've shared again the example on the screen again here. And it might bring up a couple of other questions as well. So things like, are there new skills that I need to learn? And then the action there is, what training can I look at? Do you know that you have gaps where you'd like to upskill? Do you know that there's training that's offered perhaps by the company that you work for? What, again, this is kind of related to the piece around sort of what resources are around me, what's on the company system for guidance. Now, interestingly, if you work for a very small company and there is no guidance, that's not a problem. It might feel like it's going to make it a bit harder for you, but actually, this could be even more of an opportunity for you to step up, because what you could then do is create one. So you can create the guidance that you are then going to follow, and your managers and kind of senior teams will absolutely love you for that. So I'm going to give you probably another minute or so. just to have a think about these questions. And please share anything in the chat if there's anything that's come up for you, or if anything that you find interesting or you think will help others. Please do share that. So yeah, another half a minute or so. People are writing. Oh, interesting. So really interesting. So in the chat, one of the limiting beliefs was around not asking for training. So I felt like I couldn't do the job. And then interestingly, a lady who joined afterwards had one-to-one training for a week. Why did I think I could cope without it? That's really interesting. I think another thing that's really interesting here might be to ask yourself the question, why, what was it? Why did you perhaps not speak up and say, where's my training, essentially? Was there perhaps an issue with like confidence there? You didn't feel confident enough to say, actually, hang on a minute. she's had one-to-one training for this. Where's mine? Or is that something that I can get as well? Is that something that I qualify for? Or maybe it was a massive compliment and they didn't believe that you needed it. But still, if you didn't feel confident enough to do the job and you felt like you needed training, then yeah, that's a really important thing to ask for. And I think one of the things that we forget is that actually we are the only ones that have the power to change our situation. So unless we ask for something, no one's just going to give it to us. And again, this is about kind of taking back our power, stepping back into this growth mindset. How can I change this? How can I change the fact that I didn't get training? And maybe it was just a complete oversight and you should have done. And actually they just forgot. And actually, had you asked for it, then they'd have been like, oh my God, of course. Okay. So keep those questions and actions near, and then spend a little bit more time reflecting on these as well as we kind of go through, or sort of into this evening as well, and see how that feels. So the next stage that we go into for this is reframing our limiting beliefs into affirmations. So now that we've worked out how to find the possible answers to our questions, our limiting beliefs, like I said, don't feel so limiting. They actually feel possible. And then the next stage of that is that we create affirmations out of our initial limiting belief. And why we do this is the science bit coming out here. So basically, our brain is kind of programmed to believe whatever it is that we tell it. And the more we tell it something, the more we will start to believe it. So the first time that you read your affirmation, your brain is not going to believe that. But actually, because we've put this plan in place behind it, because we've got some actions that we're going to take, every time we take one of those actions, it's a bit of evidence to our brain that we can do this thing. So then the next time that we start to reread these affirmations, we're going to believe it that little bit more. And then lo and behold, in not so much time, the affirmation will be true, because you will have stepped up, because you will have taken back control, because you will have started to take action, sort of towards the thing that it is that you want to achieve. So, for example, again, using that same example of I can't get promoted at work because my boss is a dick, or I'm not good enough, becomes something like I'm so happy and grateful for a good relationship with my manager and their support in getting promoted. Or it's something like, I'm so happy and grateful for the skills, knowledge, and experience I have, which positions me perfectly for this promotion. There's a couple of things to note here. One, we leverage the power of gratitude. Two, we talk about these things as though they have already happened. And again, these are kind of really important tools and techniques that just trick your brain into thinking that this thing has already happened. So again, it feels achievable. So you guessed it, your next exercise is to create your own affirmations out of your limiting belief that you've identified. So, like I said, I'll just keep the example there on screen around getting promoted at work, but let's just, oh, my chat seems to have disappeared. There we go. I'm worthy of earning what I desire. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, my skills, knowledge, and experience up until this point are perfect for my next step, or position me perfectly for what I want to step into next. Yes, love that. Sky's the limit, right? And then what were some of the others? I can't earn lots of money because I'm not responsible enough. So, I mean, you could literally just sort of turn this into the exact opposite. So, I am responsible enough to earn, keep, and invest lots of money. You know, you could turn that into a real financial goal if you'd like to. Um, what else? What else? Um, I am confident enough to ask for more training, perhaps in related to that one around the training piece. Okay. We've had a couple come through on the chat, but fully appreciate that others don't want to share. Okay, so then we're going to hack it further and we're going to do one last thing. And that is that you're going to write out your affirmations and put them somewhere that you will see them very regularly. And the best place to do this is your phone screensaver. I don't know if you can see that. So they are mine. And I have one, two, three, four, five, six affirmations at the moment. And at the top it says thank you, thank you, thank you. And there is this weird, wonderful thing in the power of three with gratitude. So you say thank you three times to the universe. And what we're going to do is you're going to write out your affirmation that you've just created. So one of the best ways to do this is to go into Instagram and to open up your stories. And in the stories, you are going to, hang on, where's it gone? Here we go. You're going to start a new story and you're going to select a random picture. So I've selected one of the delicious breakfast that I had earlier. And then over that, you're just going to type over it and you're going to type out one of your affirmations. So here you go. There's a couple of examples here. So whatever it is, the affirmation that you have just created. So I'm so happy and grateful, blah, 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 that I'm going to get promoted because I have the perfect skills, knowledge, and experience with which to do so. And then you're going to press done. And then instead of posting, you're going to hit these three dots in the corner and press save. And that'll save it to your phone. And then you're going to go into your settings and you're going to go to wallpaper. And then you're going to hit add new wallpaper within there. And you're going to go to photos and you're going to choose the picture that you just saved. And then that becomes your screensaver. And that is how we hack our mindset. Because suddenly you see this, depending on what you read, people pick up their phone something like between 50 and 500 times a day. So if you're looking at this 50 to 500 times a day, that is going to start to have a really, really big impact on your mind. Question: how long can we expect to see the positive impact of an affirmation? Great question. So it totally depends on you and how it makes you feel. So if you're doing all the action in the background that we've just talked about, and your brain's going to start to believe it a lot sooner. But if all you're doing is writing an affirmation on your phone and saying, you know, I'm really happy and grateful for the skills, knowledge, and experience I have, which positions me perfectly for this promotion, your brain will start to believe that, but it will happen much, much quicker if you're doing the action and doing the work in the background as well, because that's going to start to set the wheels in motion of things really starting to change. And that is where the magic will happen. Okay. Oh, so has everybody set up their new screensavers? Another question come in. Oh, yes, another one. I do have time to make and upload that video from somebody who I know is struggling with their social media accounts. Yes, absolutely. You do have time to make and upload that video. Oh, brill. I can't quite see them. Look, another affirmation. Wonderful. So yeah, so put that as your phone screensaver. And you, like I said, you will see this something like between 50 and 500 times a day, they say on average, you look at your phone. And that is going to start to have a very major impact. But to your question earlier, Ines, it has far more impact if you're doing all this stuff in the background. The reason being is because you believe it. And it's that belief that is evidence to the brain of this changing, of you actually being able to do this thing. And what's really interesting is that the truth is that the problem isn't that your boss is a dick or that they don't support you or that they don't invite you to the table or whatever it is that you say that you think is your limiting belief or whatever. The problem is that you've been giving your power to other people. And this can mean that we're sort of scared to ask questions. Sometimes, like I said, we lose our confidence. This is exactly what happened to me about 4 years ago. And we blame others because, let's be honest, the simple reason is that it's really easy to do that. So it's much easier to say that it's someone else's fault rather than us take responsibility and look back over what we're doing and hold ourselves accountable for our part to play in this. So you thought that was good, which hopefully you did. That's one of the biggest hacks that I've done personally for changing our mindset and absolutely conquering it. And that is just one of three that we're going to cover in our flagship program, which is called Rise and Thrive. And we're going to take you from frustrated to fulfilled at work in 7 weeks. It starts on the 22nd of October. So that is 1 week today. And throughout the 7 weeks, we're going to talk to you about all of these things. So you will get all of this throughout the 7 weeks, including WhatsApp support from me throughout the program. So first of all, most important thing, we're going to help you get clear on where you are now and importantly, where you want to be. Then in the second week, we're going to look at conquering our mindset. So we've already looked about cultivating the growth mindset. Then we're going to get into shifting our paradigm. And this is where the really cool stuff starts to happen. And if you want to know more about that, you need to join the course. And then week 3, we're going to look at building some skills. This is where we're going to hack some core competencies that are required for the next level. So it might be strategy, it might be visibility, it might be thought leadership, problem solving, whatever it is for you and your role. We are going to put together a program that will help you hack those competencies. Then we're going to look at building confidence through upgrading our identity and becoming the person that we want to be right now. And then in week 5, we're going to look at relationships and communication. We're going to understand different communication styles and how to have difficult conversations. And then importantly, for those of us that shy away from difficult conversations, we're going to give you scripts. So this is where we have no excuses for shying away from difficult conversations, to the point earlier around not feeling confident enough to ask for training. Perhaps you were a bit nervous of it, felt like a difficult conversation. This is going to help you do exactly that. And then week 6, we're going to create your specific action plan. This is through the soft stack frameworks. I am 19 years into studying and qualifying in marketing. This is a previous strategic framework that I learned about 19 years ago, and I still use it every week to this day. So we're going to create a bespoke action plan for you through that. And then in week 7, we're going to do a Q&A. We're going to look at reflection. We're going to hold you accountable and make you commit to what you're going to do. And this is where the fun stuff is. We're going to amplify all of the stuff that we've talked about in the previous 6 weeks with a little sprinkle of magic. And that's going to include some fun stuff like calling upon and harnessing the power of feng shui and various other things. So what you get from the course, like I said, this is going to give you clarity over what's required. It's going to give you confidence to ask for it. And we're going to help you hold your manager to account. So ultimately, this is going to earn you more money. It's going to shift your mindset. We're going to get you to believe in yourself, your ability, and stop underselling yourself. We're going to help you improve your confidence. We're going to help you build some tangible skills. We're going to help you improve communication. We're going to help you get to know yourself. We're going to give you a step-by-step thorough action plan that is going to feel easy to achieve because it's going to be aligned with who you are and what you want. Not to mention the bonuses. So in January next year, I'm going to be launching 2 memberships. One is called the Management Lounge, and this is for managers who want support in managing people. And the other is called the Leadership Lounge, and this is for those that are ready to step up into leadership. So by taking part in this course, you will get a free 3-month membership to one of these, which is a cost of £66 for the 3 months for free. And it gives you access to over £500 of resources at the moment. I'm building that up with each week that goes past. So if you wanted to, you could just take the 3 months for free, get access to all those resources and then leave if you wanted to. We're also going to give you free scripts, like I mentioned. We're also going to give you free access to our mindset mastery. So we've had a little taster of that here. That is a full workshop, which is worth £88. We're going to give you free access to that. And then we're also going to give you a free ebook, which is around 30 hacks to build your confidence. All of this is worth a total of over £600. And there's a VIP option. So if you wanted to, you can have all of the above plus a weekly one-to-one session with me for the entirety of the course. This is of up to 7 weeks. And if you purchase in the next 48 hours, you get 25% off. So what you get from us, like I said, we combine the evidence of power, the evidence of science, the power of strategy, as well as spiritual principles, and a little sprinkle of magic. And it is a fucking powerful combination. And I know because it's worked for me. So our promise to you is that our courses, guides, and hacks will always be 4 things: accessible, affordable, achievable, and if you want to, we'll keep you accountable. So because this is one of the more expensive courses, we are keeping this accountability through this 7-week process. We're also going to create a community around you of like-minded people so that you can bounce ideas off them. I'm also going to have WhatsApp support through the entire 7 weeks and follow-ups if you'd like. And if, as part of the alumni, you will then also get 10% off everything in the future. So how much is it? All of this is for an investment of just £299 for the 7-week course. This is an introductory offer and it absolutely will increase next time. So there is a VIP option for £777, and this is, like I said, available for the next 48 hours. It goes up to £99 after that. Hang on, something's come into the chat. Sounds amazing. Thank you very much. You have until the 21st of October to buy, because we start on the 22nd of October. The reason that we're doing this is because I know after 17 years how the working world works. And I want you to have all of this information and be armed with everything that you need to have a brilliant end of year review with your manager, which is likely to go in your diary around sort of early December, late November. So I want you to have as much of this information as possible before that time. If you're interested, but the investment feels too much at the moment, then drop me a message. This is my direct email address. It's me. It's not an assistant. It comes absolutely to me, tess@lightmeup.club. And let's see what we can do. I appreciate there is loads of stuff out there at the moment that's making us all feel a bit nervous about investing in stuff. But like I said, this is only £299, a little bit more for obviously the one-to-one investment. But the end goal is that this is going to earn you more money. You will get promoted if you follow what we do step by step and you take ownership and accountability. If you want to know more, there's a couple of links there to our website. You can find us on Instagram or TikTok at the Light Me Up Club. And you can also ask me questions directly to tess@lightmeup.club if you would like to. You can also listen to our podcast, which is Navigating the 9 to 5 on Spotify. And I will be live at some point on Friday, maybe Thursday, actually. Meant to change that. Answering some questions for you if you have any. Speaking of questions, are there any for anybody in the room? Speak now, forever hold your peace. Also fine if not.
Yes, do you have payment plans for your one-to-one option?
I don't, I'm afraid. But if that's feeling too much, that's a great question. Then drop me a message and I'll see if we can sort something out.
Okay, thank you.
Brill. Last but not least, it's the very exciting prize giving. Woohoo! So the prize, oh, where's it gone? There we go. Is a copy of a brilliant book by Carol Dweck. It's called Mindset. I read this many years ago. She first introduced me to the idea of a growth mindset in this book. It's really brilliant, and it talks a lot about the science behind it. So to the people in the room, Ines, you are our worthy winner. Thank you for staying till the end. Drop me a message and I'll get your address and I will post it out to you. So apart from that, thank you very much, everybody. Oh, you've got this book. It's fab. It is a great book, isn't it? Sorry, just reading the chat there. Oh, I'm coming through. Yay, thank you. No problem. Thank you for staying till the end. Yes, thank you very much, everybody. Can't wait to read it. It is a really, really good book. Brill, yes, follow us, sign up to our mailing list if you aren't already. And yes, do reach out if you've got any questions or anything at all. But thank you so much for staying here and for listening. And yeah, see you next time. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, Tess. Bye.
Thank
Thank
you. Bye.
you.